I gave this presentation to a medical convention 3 weeks ago in Monterey. That some of it will be a little obtuse, but it was obtuse for them too. Because it's new. It really shows where research is going in what we call the nutraceutical world. Not the pharmaceutical world, but the nutraceutical world, which is taking what God gave us and putting it into an approach to a problem or support. Now, this to many physicians is foreign, and then I have to remind them what is chemotherapy. And then they go, oh yeah, it's all plant poisons. So, and then I remind them what is decoction. Oh yeah, it's tea. And then I remind them, well, what about this? Oh yeah. So we have to get back to that there are different formats for certain supports and repairs and rescues that don't have to be synthetic, but are found in nature and can be put into combinations. Okay? And that's kind of fun because generally the side effect of a nutraceutical is health. Now that really freaks out a patient and goes, okay, what's the side effects? Health. And they go, huh? What does that mean? It means there's no side effects. Now you can get too much of one thing and you'll get a toxic level, like too much vitamin C will give you diarrhea. And that's not an allergic reaction. It's just such a solute, it's pulling in water and uh-oh, better back off on it. But it's not that your body's repelling it or doesn't like it, it's just too much. So yes, with nutraceuticals and that support, you have to watch the amounts and the combinations too, but they won't kill you. To capture the attention of doctors after lunch, after a glass of wine in Monterey, is really a tough job. So my topic was behavioral medicine and medical comorbidities. It was just the stupidest topic in the world. So when I called the headquarters of the AOA, I said, what does this mean? We don't know. Just do what you did last year. So, because last year I was asked to present something new, and so I did. So we did. So, but I wanted to grasp their attention about bad behaviors. So we're looking at behaviors. So watch this closely. You may remember this. Yeah.
She was going to kill you, kid.
Remember that? From The Sting. That's a movie. Now, there were many bad behaviors in that shot. He had been with the lady of the night before. She stole from him. She comes in the back, so he figures she's going to give the money back, and she actually fell in love with him. You know, that would be like not reality. And then, you know, the guy in the back shoots her, so there's murder, and he's a hired FBI assassin. And then she was going to shoot him. So I announced to the crowd there are many bad behaviors there that could use behavioral support that would limit your comorbidity medical list. Okay, we're done with the topic. And they just went like that, and it was really fun. And they were laughing because it wasn't droll and about the latest medicine with its interaction potential and graphs that go like this and like that. And if the graph goes down, so do they, because it's very boring. So then we went on into the topic of dementia. And this is where you guys are going to have some fun. There we go. Beginning neuroprotection early before the signs of forgetfulness. This is proline-rich polypeptide complexes. We'll call them PRPs, okay? It sounds very, very sophisticated, and it's really not. You'll see, statistically, dementia is on the increase. Projected to increase to 81 million people by 2040. In the U.S., 4 million with mild cognitive impairment. Mild cognitive impairment is just starting to have the forgetfulness. It's the scissors is in the other room. It's the and you forgot to bring it with you. It's the glasses are on your forehead and you don't know where they are, and you've yelled at your spouse because you knew she misplaced them or he misplaced them. Okay. So mild cognitive impairment is forgetful, memory lapses, less attentive, change in sleeping habits, and notice problems finding the right words to communicate. Now this could be any resident after a night on call. And so when I told them, they go, uh-huh, because they all remembered the slavery. But then I asked them quietly to reflect on how much do you think that that type of sleep deprivation and overwork and stress encouraged mild cognitive impairment for their future. And I think that's a significant point. And everyone uncrossed their arms and went, oh. Because when doctors see new things, they cross their arms because they cannot be. Just told that. Life is inflammatory. The chronic disease are heart disease, cancers, and also memory loss. Okay? It's all about inflammation and where it attacks or applies to your body or what applied to it and when in your life as well. It can be in embryo. Okay? So it's unrelenting stress. We have none of that in America. Standard American diet, which is called the SAD diet, way too many carbs, alcohol and substance abuse, excess body fat and obesity, none of that in America, metabolic syndrome and chronic illnesses like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and hypertension. Okay? And that pretty much fits the diagnosis list on most patients with on the right drugs. That's kind of sad. Okay? And this one really gets you. It looks hard, but it's not. Normal aging, and all of a sudden we get to mild cognitive impairment at 40 in most of the people who end up with severe Alzheimer's dementia in their 80s. It starts at age 40. And that is alarming to me. And even though we're, at 40 to 50, we're a little forgetful. We're starting to get territorial in our jobs because the young ones are not forgetting. We get a little crabby, we're not fun at home, and we start just sitting in front of the TV having it think for us or a computer. So personal TVs and personal computers are certainly not helping the progression of mild cognitive impairment because you're not thinking. Someone's thinking for you. And the government would like to do that all the way, so just remember that. I told you that. This is a normal neuron, a brain cell, and this is a dead neuron, okay? And that's exactly how they look. This is electron microscopy expanded. Neurons don't touch each other, they send a fluid to each other. Remember that. So that fluid is everything. So if your fluid goes down, or your cells shrink and they can't send a fluid, what happens? No communication. This is a normal brain with a PET scan uptake. Okay, and you see how everything lights up. This is where you have memory and problem solving and emotions and stuff, and this is where you're kind of processing vision and sending messages back. This is your emotional center. This area is there as you're sending messages to walk. Okay, one below that is your emotions. It's just untouched in research and mapping. It's just so fascinating. And that's an Alzheimer's brain. And when they say the lights went out, they are not kidding. Okay? And that's pretty dramatic, isn't it? I hate to see that when I get the patient for the first time. And that's way too often. Because we've covered up. When Dad finally is peeing in the closet, we better tell someone. Or horror of horrors, Mother wrote a check that jeopardized our family inheritance. That's too common. So that shows there's been a little neglect for a while until it got all about money. Okay, so remember that. So then you'll get all the studies and say there isn't much hope here. The lights are out and going now.